This is one of the 5 1933 Pierce Arrow silver arrows. Let's bring this legend back.
Using a soft brass wire brush to reveal the original texture underneath.
Just applying gentle pressure to remove this corroded trim, revealing the oxidized aluminum underneath. Gotta wipe this section first. Now listen to the scalar work on this heavy corrosion. I'm applying penetrating oil to the hinge. It needs to soak deep into the corrosion. Applying the aluminum-safe soap with a gentle, low-pressure wash. You can see the water carrying away the grime and strews.
I'm just going to carefully cut this section out now to reveal the inner structure. We're shaping the curve on the English wheel, making sure it matches these original lines perfectly before we test the fit.
Just finishing the weld here. Now using the flap disc to smooth this out completely.
Applying the aluminum filler here, covering the welds and low spots smoothly with the spreader.
Applying this thick gel now. You can see it starting to bubble as the paint softens.
Just gently scraping away the softened finish now. Look how these thick strips peel right off the aluminum. Applying the aluminum corrosion converter now. Notice how it turns dark as it reacts. Now applying the first coat of high-build epoxy primer to the metal. Applying the epoxy primer, and now we begin blocking it down with slow, deliberate strokes.
We're spraying thin, even layers of this dark primer now. It highlights any imperfections on the surface. Now I'm using the 400 grit paper on this flexible block to smooth out the primer with plenty of water.
Just smoothing out this primer on the fender. Now we're applying the tape right along the stalk and richness. Now applying the first base coat of the metallic cylinders.
Applying the wet on wet coat now to build that extraordinary depth. You can
Applying the heavy clear coats now. You can see how it flows and levels, creating that deep, glass-like protection. We're using 1500 grit wet paper now, keeping the surface wet to gently remove the texture.
We're just finishing the wet sanding on the fender here, moving up to 5,000 just wiping away the residue now. Look at that mirror finish coming through. Applying the fine finishing polish now. The buffing pad reveals the liquid silver finish. See that depth.
All right, carefully unbolting and lifting the massive chrome grille now. All right, setting the grill down gently. Now using the screwdriver on these rusted fasteners to separate the vertical bars. Applying the chemical solution now. Notice how it immediately starts to bubble, dissolving the old chrome layers and applying just a little more pressure here to bring out that deep mirror finish on the curve.
I'm lowering it into the bath now. See the bubbles forming? The nickel is plating over the copper base now, creating that bright, durable layer we need.
Lifting it slowly now, letting the excess plating drain. And finally, dry, just carefully aligning each bar perfectly. And now securing it firmly in place.
We've got the chains secured. Now, carefully lifting this massive straight 8 onto the stand. Okay, we're just going to carefully remove the cylinder head bolts now, and then gently lift the head off the block. Sending the straight 8 block and crankshaft out for precision boring and polishing. Feel the smooth compression of the rings as we slide it gently into the bore. Now, carefully torque it down to spec. We are carefully torquing the heads, and now using the feeler gauges to set these precise valve clearances. Just guiding it down gently now. We want everything to line up perfectly before we secure the mounts. Applying fresh lubricant to these clean gears now. And gently snapping the new bearings and seals into position. Feel the gears slide into place. Now we torque the fasteners down to original specifications. We're replacing the leaf spring bushings and kingpins on the Silver Arrow's suspension.
Okay, moving on to the braking system now. Installing the new vacuum booster for this 1933 Pierce Arrow. We're carefully sliding the hub into place now and guiding the wire wheel over the bolts, tightening them down. Okay, moving inside now, we're carefully peeling back the original leather. It's quite brittle. And now floor pan. Assessing the floor pan, placing the aluminum patch, then pressing the new sound deadening material.
Wool carpet now. Pressing it firmly around the transmission tunnel to ensure a precise fit against the metal. First applying the felt to the metal frame, then carefully arranging the horsehair stuffing, and finally hand sewing the bothler. Finishing the final stitch in the deep red leather. Now carefully lowering the heavy seat onto the yours. Just gently sanding to open the grain of the walnut. Then we apply the stain and finish with hand-rubbed lash. Setting the new laminated safety glass requires precision. We press it firmly into the butyl rubber sealant. Just gently pressing along the channel here to ensure a perfect compression fit. We're replacing the electrical system with correct cloth-covered wire, carefully soldering every connection to the new fuse block. Okay, we'll connect the positive terminal first, then the negative to ground it.
All right, oil level is good. Let's see if she'll turn over now.
Just a slight turn here to smooth out the mixture, listening for that perfect, steady hum.
Just gliding the soft pad across the silver paint.
The goal now is liquid perfection, removing every tiny imperfection from this sweeping surface.